we can take questions. Is there a way to turn off this blinding light up there? Well, no, okay. I can't see any hands up because I'm blinded. I don't know if there's any hand up or I'm just being blinded by the light.
House lights.
Okay. Oh, much cozier.
Woo. Can you talk about what was up, where and what he's doing now?
Why don't you ask him yourself, ladies and gentlemen? What's happening for him?
First of all, good evening to everybody. Second, did you arrange that question? Now I live in Los Angeles, and you can say that I'm dedicating my life to the practice of yoga. This is the main and most important thing that I do.
Not all of you at once, one by one, please, yes.
So, I didn't see anything at the beginning of the film that said what is original footage and what is reenactment, and I was struggling at times to figure out what was original and what was, because if it was reenactment, it felt really original, but if it was original, it sometimes felt reenacted.
Oh, wow.
I'm curious.
So what is the question exactly?
Well, how much was reenacted and how much was real? Because I can't imagine you were getting that footage out of the Sundance.
Yeah, well, first of all, you believe it or not, what is amazing, some of the footage of Mossab, I mean, all of the footage of Mossab in the years where he was operational is real. Basically, what we found is that, you know, Mossab's dad, the Sheikh Hassan Youssef, is a hugely popular figure in the West Bank, and when he was incarcerated, the Hamas had him running for the elections. So there were TV crews covering, you know, the Sheikh basically running for elections from prison. And since Mossab was his father's assistant, they also covered Mossab. And we asked to see all the rushes, and you know, at the time they didn't think of using it in their whatever they were doing, TV pieces or documentaries, because they were focusing on the Sheikh, not knowing that his son was actually, you know, a top Israeli spy. So we got access to this footage, and we used it. And then some of it we, I would say, augmented, you know, and these are the parts where you see Mossab from the back and things like that, for the sole purpose of having you in the here and now of the story. And the Shin Bet footage, you know, some of it is IDF footage, Israeli Defense Force, and some of it is also, I call it augmented, you know, to serve like the purpose of the story where you cannot have access, etc., etc. And the point always is basically, you know, to have you in the here and now of the story, because this is not a journalistic piece, you know, this is not news, it's cinema. So we're telling you a story by whichever means to engage you and create an emotional connection to the story. You had one.
Was it difficult for you to live through the skin and make the movie, or was this more of a cathartic and a positive experience to put your story out there even more?
Good evening, everybody. For me, it was, in one sense, it was good, you know, to live it again and to talk about it, because there were some unfinished business, maybe even until today, some unfinished business with the agency, with our relationship and so on. But then you know, when I look at it, it doesn't make it easier to look at it today. You know, this is the third time, or the second time I watched the movie from the beginning to the end. The first time was 2 days ago. Yesterday. You know, last night. It was like, last night, no, it was yesterday night. First time I watched the movie. You know, we had good and bad experiences during the time, and I'm split.
Actually, I did not answer the question.
Well, let's get organized. Do you want to answer this gentleman?
Sure.
First?
I personally decided to move on a while ago and just do something else, something new. Not because, you know, my background and my experience it did not provide me with opportunity. Because I think it's a time to move on. And honestly, while I'm sitting there watching, I was like, maybe this would be like the last time I watch it. It's too much drama, and it's a time to move on, I believe. And there are many things under the sun that someone can do, many amazing things, and my destiny, unfortunately, was to live that kind of lifestyle. And thankfully, that today my eyes are open for other lifestyle, and I choose to move on. I wanted to honor the work of Nadav, that he put an amazing I don't know how the Shin Bet, or the Israeli intelligence reaction for this film will be. And Nadav is already getting lots of headache and challenges from people who are ignorant of the nature of this topic. I wish him the best. I came here to support him as a friend, as a brother, as a filmmaker, and as a person who knew how to capture a person's life in 99 minutes. This is not an easy duty. So thank you so much, Nadav. We appreciate you.
It seems to me both of you were severely ostracized in your cultures. And now that you've had a second coming, have you found a culture here in the South that welcomed you in the United States? You said you were alone in the U.S. on one of those lines. And I imagine, I can't say your name, you also, have you found a welcome culture back in Israel?
Well, I redeemed myself from culture, not to go and get into another culture. I'm not trying to fit into any society or culture. I believe that I was born alone, and I am not afraid to die alone. I believe that my soul is infinite, will never die, and I don't care if there is like a support community or if it's not, if there is a friend or if there is not. I'm very grateful to have Gonen in my life, but I learned how to stand, even if I was alone, against 1 billion people out there saying that I'm wrong. It still doesn't matter. I choose to be this way. I enjoy my life. My life is full of fun and excitement. And I don't want to spend the rest of my life trying to explain to people why I deserve to fit in a society or community. I think it's a waste of time.
My story is a bit different, because in Israel, although Son of Hamas was bestseller, most people don't know that Captain Luai, that this was my nickname in the Shin Bet, is related to me as a person. So you know, the very close friends know. Some of them were asking, arguing, why are you doing it? You know, not all of them understand. My family understands and supports. My wife, that couldn't be here because soon, maybe today, tomorrow, we'll have our fourth child. Thank you. Supported me all the way, and she's like a real force that is not present here, but is really present in my life, and I thank her for that. So I was kicked out of my community, if you can call the agency the Shin Bet community, but I don't regret it today, you know, and I have a great brother, and that's it. You know, this is my life.
Just curious if you had any reflections on the work that you tried to do, if you felt it was effective or worthwhile, and how that maybe jives with where things are at today in that area.
This is a question for me.
Yeah, I was wondering if he was talking about the film, you know, like, is it worthwhile?
You know, the work that we did is not, I didn't get the credits. You know, many heroes participated in that work, and they are real heroes. Now maybe we got the privilege to be on a big screen, and people think that I am a hero, which I believe I am not. Please to think about all the secret, unknown soldiers who fight to protect innocent people, children, women, people who they don't know. I don't know how many people we saved. Some of them maybe were rude to us, some of them maybe mocked us, and some of them still till today don't believe us and they laugh at us. We did what we did because that was our responsibility. And we knew that type of responsibility is different than politics and religions and all that. That type of responsibility was a human mission to save human lives. And there's no way to go wrong by saving a human life. If you had a political view, a religious view, you could be wrong. But to save life, stop killing, there was no way to be wrong. Is there any objection?
Yeah, was there a question?
Oh, no objection, just a question. Well, first, thank you. Your story on the surface seems very inspiring, and what you guys accomplished, I mean, I think your guys' relationship is kind of a microcosm, you know, of peace. I mean, it's an incredible story.
God willing.
Yeah, and thank you. It's truly inspiring. I was curious, so in the film, it said you talked to your father and you told him to disown you on the phone. And he said, I won't do that. Nobody can force me to do that. It's my prerogative as a father. And then later on, in the news clip, it showed that your brothers and sisters had disowned you. Do you know or do you feel that your father still loves you, and or no? Or do you feel you are totally disowned? You know?
The force of shame in the Middle East is a very destructive force. And because my father is coming from a powerful place, apparently he was never intimidated by that kind of force. Or even if he was threatened by it, he was confident that he could face. Practically, I put him face to face with that kind of power. I was confronting shame, and eventually I could defeat that type of enemy. And somehow I meant for him to come from his throne down to the challenge that average Palestinian person would have to face and face it. He could not fight against shame. And I hope that he sees how this enemy of that society will continue on destroying people's lives. Yes.
Will there be an audience for this film in Palestine? Will there be people watch this?
I let Nadav answer this question.
That's a really good question. Listen, we sure hope so, you know, because I mean we don't feel that this is a political film at all. At the same time, as Mossab was pointing out, you know, a lot of people out there still live sort of prisoner of, you know, misconceptions or sort of coerced notions of the other side, you know. I'm sure that individuals would really want to go see it. But I'm also sure there's going to be a great pressure not to see it. I mean, just to give you an example, Mossab's book was translated into Arabic, and he put it on the internet for free. This is a best-selling book, because he just wanted to share his experience with, you know, his brothers and sisters and family and friends. And I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, that very few people actually dared to read it, or if they did, they don't say because they read it in secret. So just like the force of shame, there's other forces which are very prevalent. And I have my doubts if it's going to be. I mean, listen, it's going to be distributed in Israel, and there's a large Arab population in Israel, so they will probably go see it. How they will react, I don't know. You know, they still suffer from, you know, some sort of, a lot of people suffer on both sides from narrow-mindedness, you know, so they will label things and not really, you know, open themselves, but maybe they will, who knows, you know. Let's see.
I read your book and loved it, but the film adds so much more, and to see you is just amazing. My question is, do you both, or either one of you, do you feel safe in your lives? Do you feel like, I mean, do you have a peace or safety net around you, or do you feel threat? And do you feel loved by us? Because you are.
You know, peace and safe, those two different things. Somebody can be very safe, but they don't have peace at all. They can lock themselves up in a castle. It will be safe there, but maybe they won't be peaceful. I think these are two things that I've been trying to achieve. Peace, I'm at peace. I feel very comfortable within my own skin. Excuse my English, by the way. I'm doing as much as I can. But regarding to safety, they can do whatever they want to do. Like, what's the most that they can take? This form, this flesh, take it. I'm not going to react to it. I live my life normally. I have my friends, and I'm not going to go to hide. And love, I know that many people are sincere about their love towards me, and I appreciate that very much. And I will always be grateful for people who stood for me and for people who risked their lives. I'm not sure that a film like this could convey what Gunen truly did.
I think that is what the film added to the book, was your part in the amazing story.
Yes, I know this comes very clear here,
Yes.
but for me, nothing in this world will be enough. No words will be enough to thank him, because he truly saved my life. I was struggling for my life. I could not convince anybody in the US government that I was not a terrorist. And when I told them that I was fighting terrorism for 10 years, I could not approve.
And that was after the book?
Well, we're not going to open a conversation right now because we want to open maybe a chance for other questions. So I always be grateful for Ghanaian and for you guys. Thank you so much for your love.
We have one more question. It was a lady who raised her arm. Yes, that was the last question. Sorry.
So, one of my questions was about his security. The other was for Ghanaian, and he answered it. But the other is for Ghanaian, and what do you do now?
He's answering your questions in the film festival.
Yeah, this is what I do. Right now, I live in Israel. I work as a lawyer in Tel Aviv. Just to answer the safety question, I think that in our case, we stood to tell the truth. We love each other. I have a new brother. I see him as part of the family. So, people can try to do all kinds of things. I think truth, hope are stronger than everything. So we are free people. And that's it. This is what's important.